Alright guys, so I called it kind of early last night. It's freezing here, so it's fortunate to heat the garage, and it never really does the trick anyway. So what I did today was I just had a bunch of 7/16 bolts there, so I just kind of put them in to the to hold the head down in the block. So I got a pretty good idea. I just kind of had a few miscellaneously in there. So there's that. Next I'm going to put the headers on, bolt those in, and you know, really well. So now the motor's bolted in, the transit's bolted in, the heads are bolted to the motor or the block, and then the headers, I'll bolt those on. Then once that goes there, I can start heating up the pipes and hopefully start pulling it back into place. So we'll get the headers back on. I'll probably get set up and see how this goes. All right, guys. So here's the plan. Torch set out. Got to come along. So I'm going to try and attach this come along somewhere here, either the rear axle or the frame or something like that. Put a little bit of tension on it. Everything's bolted down. I got to put a few more bolts in the header yet, just to be on the safe side, and then start heating up some pipes, and hopefully it'll kind of start to work its way back, slow and steady, and go from there. So yeah, I'll check in with you in a bit. Alright guys, better give you a little update. So I've had started pulling there, and now I'm down in the collector. Obviously just kind of heating up where I kind of want it to bend. Tension up and let it go. And now, I mean, I'm making some progress. I can put my finger through there, and the tire was originally jammed up against that pipe. So it's obviously moving. It's kind of cool. You have it all tensioned, and as you're heating it, you can feel it in the car when it's kind of working its way back, kind of I guess one pipe at a time. So it's that's probably been 15 or 20 minutes. So slow moving. I see it just kind of doing that, torque it up, do a little bit more, and you can kind of heat it. Where you're heating it determines where it's going to go. So I'm trying to get it to fold back like that, not just pull it up. So I'm kind of working my way around, but I think I'm making some progress. It's turning out pretty good. All right, guys, figure I'll give you a bit of an update here. So it went off the rails in a hurry there. I was trying to bend it, heat it, do all sorts of things, started doing little pie cuts. None of that worked, and by the time I just kind of lost it. I had to cut 3 pipes completely. This one's most of the way. That's all it's holding is the backside of that pipe, before I got the collector where I want it, so that now when the tires turn, there's some space. So my plan is I'm gonna just kind of put a few tack welds, maybe put a little piece of steel across to hold everything where I want it, take it apart, and I can start working on the bench. I got a piece of pipe there, so hopefully I can sleeve some of these or do something along those lines. We'll see how much I can weld it all back, but yeah, went sideways, but yeah, I guess that's what happens when you put a motor it wasn't supposed to be in here in the first place. So I'll get working on that, kind of show you how it works out on the bench. Alright guys, here's what I did. I just ground down a little bit, and I put some weld some bolts on there, so we'll retain kind of the shape that I want for now anyways, and then I can start kind of working on one pipe at a time. So I'm going to go on the only pipe that's really holding it first, get that one knocked out and weld together where I want it, and then I'll probably work on this one because it's easy to kind of get back and get it half welded in, check it again, and then carry on. So I'm kind of getting the feeling these headers may end up wrapped because they're looking kind of rough. Alright guys, so I figured we'd focus on this side because I don't have to do anything to it, so it looks real nice. I actually got the leaf springs in, so that's pretty sweet. This side, it's a bit of a nightmare. I don't know how it's going to look on camera, how bad it is. It's a little rough for sure. You know, both these pipes were way out. I managed to kind of bend them back, weld them around. That one wasn't terrible either. I sleeved down here as best I could, but I can only do kind of halfway because this other pipe was in the way, so it looks a little gaudy. And then I beat the crap out of it so the tire would clear. And there's all sorts of pry marks and bend marks and all sorts of stuff all over it, but hey, overall I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to make them fit. It was a pile more work than I thought it was going to be, but I saved a bunch of work on the firewall, I guess, so it all kind of worked out in the end. After all the work I did to it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up wrapping these headers, so you don't notice how beat up they are. And also it's going to be right by the floorboard there, so it's going to cook my feet and stuff in there. But yeah, that's that. I had to bash in here a little bit to clearance for the control arm. I'll probably have to, you know, maybe knock that down, grind that down a little bit. But yeah, overall, it's there. It's a header. It's in. Probably just a few more things I got to do to button up before I can pull the motor out and get it put together. Yeah, it's productive. I didn't do a whole lot of filming doing it because it was frustrating. I never done it before, and I was probably doing it dead wrong. So, like everything else, once you've done it once, you do it totally different the next time, and that's how I feel about these headers. But live and learn.